Moving on. Repetition is another one which you'll see quite a lot in text, and it refers to really just an idea or a feature being used more than once. Now, I've also bundled rhyme into this as well because it really is about repetition as well, except rather than being repetition of an idea, it's going to be a repetition of a sound. And now they do create different effects, but they are pretty much composed and organized in much the same way. So if you've got a repetition of a particular idea, then there are different stages of the text where that idea is repeated. The same as rhyme, the sound is repeated in various stages. Okay, so they can go together. They're not the same thing, but they can go together. So for instance, if we're looking at repetition, the author repeats the cat to show her childhood. So the cat becomes then a symbol of her childhood. All right. So by repeating that description of the cat, that also adds something symbolic to it as well. Now, you don't necessarily have to even repeat that as a symbol. You can just say that in my childhood, my cat was the most important thing. And if the cat was the most important thing in her childhood, then of course you would repeat it. Similarly, rhyme could be described like this. So she uses an ABAB rhyming pattern to quicken the reader's pace. So what that's suggesting is the way that rhyme is used makes you read a bit faster. And that's all it refers to. So when you've got rhymes going together, they roll off the tongue better, and so you read a little bit quicker. If you're reading aloud, even if you're reading in your head, you do the same thing. Alright, so both of those things create an effect, and that's all, again, what they're trying to do. They're trying to create an effect, they're trying to make us react in a certain way as an audience. And the final one we'll look at is onomatopoeia. Now, onomatopoeia refers to how words really represent sounds. And something like, for instance, boom, crash, and roar. But another way you could look at it is like this. So the muttering became a roar, and like a crack of thunder they cheered. Now what that does, as opposed to just having them on their own, but having those together in a sentence, what that means is we start not so much seeing something as we do hear something. And that's what onomatopoeia can do, is by using, and these words, like you can imagine, muttering, 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 it makes that sound roar, roar, makes that sound crack, and so on. I'm not going to do the other ones. But to have those together really helps to put us in a situation where, rather than see things, which is often what we do with things like imagery, for instance, we can actually hear things, and it makes it a lot more significant. And just the same with any other kind of sensory language as well. So in summary, it really is essential that you're able to identify and be able to talk about these sorts of techniques. And the reason is that really a lot of English studies are going to require you to know what they are. If you don't know them by the end of Year 9, Year 10, then you're not going to cover them again in Year 11 and 12. They assume that you know them. So really do make sure that you know and understand them. And even watch this video again if you want to take some extra notes, or have a look around for different examples to sort of get you in the mood for each different kind of technique. And in preparation for every exam, make sure you know how to identify and name these different techniques. All right, so you know repetition when you see it, but you also know hyperbole when you see it. You know alliteration when you see it, and you can pretty much identify any technique just like that. So that's pretty much all you need to know for being able to identify each basic technique. So until next time, I'll see you later.